which is no other person than Maria. Please put your hands together for her. Maria Shimang, please put your hands together. So it's your choice if you want to sit, if you want to stand as a spirit leads. Thank you so much.
Okay, I think I'll stand and then sit later. Hello everyone. Hi. I hope we're all happy to be here. So when Nambi reached out to me regarding Purposeful, next, I was excited. I was like, oh, Nambi, this idea is very great. I think you create impact and all that. And then she says, oh, Maria, I want you to speak. So the period I'm in now, I was like, talk about what in this era of my life, because I'm not having the best moments. So I was just like, okay, so what will I talk about, purpose and all that, because I'm in one of my lowest moments at this time. So I just thought to myself and said, okay, maybe this is the right time to actually talk about purpose, because it's not all about having the highs. It's even more about what do you do when you're finding the lows.
That's right.
Some months ago, usually, okay, so what we do, as I said, we create products for food processing companies and all that. So for the past 1 year, I can say that I've had one of the best years, because I got to work with amazing companies, even doing jobs that some people thought I'm not qualified to do, but I still did it. And I was just thinking, so from that period, it's meant to just go high, 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 and then keep going high. But for the past months, I've tried sending out proposals, I've tried reaching out to new people, and then all I get is no, 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 and so many no's. So during this period, I just go back to the reason why I started Weekend Ventures. And for me, it's something that happened more of a coincidence, because it's not something that I planned. Like 4 years ago, I was on Instagram and I commented on someone's story, and then I got chatting with the person. During that period, I was working with an NGO, and they were just paying me how much. So you know how NGOs pay and all that. I was just doing my job, and I just thought to myself, okay, so what's an extra thing that I can do to make money? And I started buying vegetables from Jos to bring to Abuja to sell. So then broccoli, cauliflower, peppers and all that were not very popular. So usually people ask me, oh, what do I do with broccoli? What do I do with cauliflower? How do I prepare it and all that? So I just thought to myself, okay, I will create like a ready-to-use kit for everything, stir-fry kits that people can eat. So when you just buy it, you just open it and eat it. And I was just chatting with this very random person on Instagram, and we got chatting, and then I told him, I said, oh, I want to turn this thing into a kit that people will buy and all that. So he said, oh, this is a very great idea. And he introduced me to, I sold the idea to that person, and then that was how Weekend Ventures started. So for me, at that moment, that was how I knew what I was meant to be, because it was something that came with ease. Knowing your purpose, if you ask me, oh, how do I know my purpose? It's something that you do with ease. Like someone says that your talent is something that you do, you find yourself doing it, not even being taught. So back to my state now. And okay, so from the framework that Nambi said to us, was like, okay, so let's discuss how we manage these low periods. For me, I'm a very practical person. I always look at how to optimize my life, how to make things better, and I take responsibilities for most things. That's one thing I know about myself. So if something is happening, I don't put it out on anybody out there. I do what is within my own power to do, and then I leave the rest for God. So during this period, what I do, I just set very short goals. That's what I've been doing because I feel like I've been crawling through the month. When I wake up in the morning, I say, okay, today, Maria, these are the 2 things you make sure you do. Then I always have non-negotiable things that I must always do every day to keep myself going. For example, I have to exercise, I have to meditate. I'm a very zen kind of person. I have to meditate, and then I just go through the days with these small goals. And the days that I feel very low, I go through my journal. I journal a lot. I make sure I journal every day. I set a time to journal. If you can, I think that's something you should do, because when you're in your low moments, it's to help you to keep track of where you've been and then where you're going to in the future. So in my lowest moments, I go through my journal, I read it, and I just say to myself, oh, Maria, this is you 2 years ago. These were the problems that you had. And then these are now like very tiny problems now. Now you have bigger problems that you look forward to. And then that keeps me very encouraged. And it makes me, it helps me to build confidence in myself, because it's like, okay, since you're able to go through that challenge, you will be able to go through this one. So during this period, as I show up every day, I try to set my little goals and show up every day. Then I get a call from one of my clients, one client that we worked with like 2 years ago. So she just goes, oh, Maria, how are you doing? I have this freeze dryer that I bought. I don't know how to use it. Can you help me ask what kind of energy source I'll use for it, and just food talk and everything. So I made the call, and then I got back to her. Then something just dropped in my mind. I was like, okay, this freeze dryer, lots of people need it. How about we can give it out to people to rent? So she said, oh yeah, that's true. I have this space, and then I have other equipment that I bought that I think we can work around that. So we can just create like a mini pilot space where people can just come and use the equipment for their products. So that's a light at the end of the tunnel for me. I felt relieved. I was like, okay, at last I have something to work with. So I go to this space, and it's a very beautiful space. And coincidentally, it's the same thing with a picture I have on my phone. Like, this is real life thing. It's a picture I have on my phone. So I was just very excited. I was like, oh, it's like this thing has really come to pass. But guess what? Another hurdle to cross, because when I got to this space, it had so many issues that will not be able to use the space at the moment. So I was just asking myself and asking God and saying, God, can I get a breather? Can I get a breather? But then it's just all these moments always teach me that if you pray to be someone who is resilient, who is strong, courageous, someone who wants to be a professional in what you do, wants to be wise, how do you test it if you don't have these moments? So life is all about perspective, how you see whatever situation you're in. So for example, like, okay, this word late bloomers is not my favorite word, because who are we measuring it against? At the end of the day, like, who is the standard? Who sets the standard? The number one thing for you to do as a person is to change your perspective towards challenges that you have. Because you might have Mr. A and Mr. B going through the same thing, but then they will navigate it differently just because of one difference. And that's the way that they see it. So as a person, Number one, my core is know yourself. Know yourself. I can say that I'm quite self-reliant. I take responsibility, and anything that I need to do to optimize myself, to improve myself, I do it, because being disciplined. So now if you know your purpose, you know that, okay, this is what you're supposed to do and all that. If you don't show up every day, how will you achieve it? Because it's not something that you're waiting for the aha moment. No, it's about showing up every blessed day of your life. And I also have anchor in the Word of God. So I have my Bible verses that I strongly believe in. Every day I read them. And I want to advise us to write a letter to yourself. When you're feeling at your highest, write a letter to yourself, hype yourself, say everything great that you think about yourself, because words are powerful. For example, like this letter I wrote to myself, when I'm down or when I'm high, every day I read this letter to myself. I say, Maria, you are amazing, you're awesome, you are a genius, you are a creator. I tell myself all that. It's important for you to see yourself as the person that you want to be. So knowing your purpose to me is not even as much as it's sort of, let's say, like a divine calling. It's more about you knowing yourself, spending time with yourself. Most people, when last did you just stay 20 minutes with your thoughts? Most of us cannot do that. We'll either distract ourselves with phones or TV or something. So my time is up. I just want to round up with this quote that says, whether you're slow or fast, the seeker will definitely be a finder at the end of the day. So always seek.
We put our hands together for ourselves.